Today we're talking about the Great Debate, and the Great Debate has to do with different perspectives about the future of globalization. So to frame this debate, we're going to create a continuum between two different points of view. On one end, we're going to have the world is flat view, the title of a book by Thomas Friedman, and on the other hand, we're going to have the Clash of Civilizations view, the title of a book by Samuel Huntington. These authors have very strong, well thought out, well defended opinions about where the world is going to go and how globalization will develop in the future. Let's start with Friedman. Friedman is the biggest cheerleader for globalization you could imagine. He is convinced that the flat world is going to be something that will be remembered as an epoch in human history that rivals the creation of the printing press or even the discovery of fire. And the reason why he's so excited about globalization and the future of globalization is because of what's happening with technology and how different parts of the world are joining the global economy. Globalization 1.0 is what Friedman would describe as happening from, say, 1492 all the way to 1800, right? The Colonial Period, where great Western powers would get on boats and they would exploit resources and different lands around the world. The military, the government, drove commerce and global exploration in this way. This then shifted to private companies really dominating the scene in globalization. And from 1800 to 2000, you'll see multinational corporations flying the flag for globalization, crisscrossing the world, opening up new markets and providing services to new countries and new people. Why Friedman is so excited about the future is he believes that from 2000 forward, the fact that there is such technology that enables individuals to communicate and participate in the global economy is really going to accelerate globalization. There's 3 billion new capitalists created with the fall of the former Soviet Union, with the opening of Chinese markets, with the opening of Indian markets, right? And it's not just that there are 3 billion new capitalists, there are 3 billion new consumers. So when you compare the size of the population that used to participate in the globalized economy to the enormity of the full global population participating in it, Friedman feels like globalization's days have just begun. Now, there are critiques in any worldview, so it's fair to just put the sort of caveat emptor on Friedman's view of a flat world. The benefits of globalization have been accruing in an inequitable manner, and some criticisms of his overly rosy view of globalization's future believe that maybe things need to be done to adjust the way that the global economy works. He also seems to put too much stock in the fact that individuals will be driving the global economy as opposed to private enterprise and governments. And of course, there are concerns with a little bit of cultural imperialism in terms of his views of predominantly Western companies leading this charge. So if that's the enthusiastic view of globalization, let's take a look at the other end of the continuum in terms of Huntington's view of a clash of civilizations. Huntington describes a civilization as the one step forward from your definition of yourself as a human, right? So he's really breaking these thumps into big groups of Chinese, Japanese, Hindu, Western, Slavic Orthodox, and Islam. The idea that common ancestries, value, language, or religion is really what creates the idea of a civilization. He believes that countries are going to stop squabbling so much over territory, economic benefits, and ideology, and they're going to start arguing over identity. Actually, who people are, their values and their religions really causing the flashpoints of conflict into the future. And for this reason, he feels that globalization has kind of met its boundaries with these large civilizations. He feels these boundaries are real, they're basic. They will weaken the nation state a bit, which in turn will make fundamental religious beliefs stronger. He feels that inequities caused by globalization is causing a backlash to the Western MNEs and governments that have promoted globalization for so long. And so that all of this regionalism will exacerbate and turn up with major conflicts across civilizations. So Huntington's views, again, well-researched, well-written, well-documented. Some criticisms of the clash of civilizations view, of course, come down to the fact that there are conflicts within civilizations, that you have a rich history of economic cooperation across civilizations, and that maybe there is something to Friedman's view that globalization could lead to cultural hybridity. So there you have it, two ends of the continuum. The world is flat. Friedman, cheerleader for globalization, you ain't seen nothing yet. And Huntington with the clash of civilizations, who says that perhaps the degree to which we've already globalized will kind of create a bit of a stopping point at the borders of these different civilizations.